I received an email saying to come in today, and she's like,
the only position we're interviewing today for is a Spanish speaking position.
And so I smiled and I said, yes, that's what I'm here for.
I think she love me, cause I got the check on me. Won't spend it, then flex on me. Put a curse of hex on me. Scratch out my name, put the X on me.
Hola YouTube, yo soy Amber González del canal Ambi González Tele. Bienvenido a mi canal. Today I'm going to talk to you all about I don't look like I speak Spanish. Hashtag, I don't look like I speak Portuguese. Hashtag, I don't look like I'm a linguist. The reason I'm doing this video is because one of my students, we were having this conversation. She brought it up and she asked me, have I ever experienced discrimination from like an employer before I got the job, blah, 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 because I don't quote unquote look like I would speak Spanish. And so it opened up the conversation and we were talking about it. And I figured, you know what? That's a good YouTube video to do. It's interesting. I think people would want to know if I've ever experienced that. So if you are interested in this type of video, go ahead and keep watching. If you are not a subscriber, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you will know whenever I upload. Muchas gracias por ver y vamos a comenzar. So, you know, being somebody that speak different languages, I'm very used to people being shocked when they hear me speak several languages. And it's just something that I got used to. I think it only becomes offensive when it's obvious that they're trying to say like, you speak Spanish? Like you speak Spanish? Like, it's so, like, it's annoying because I've been going through this for a very long time. I want to say more than maybe 10 years now. I've been going through this. With the workforce, absolutely. You know what? I'm going to include this little story time. I'm going to try to keep it really short. I applied for a job in Marietta, Georgia. Mind you, I had already had 2 or 3 jobs at the time. I was working as a translator at this one office. Actually, I was working as an interpreter, Spanish interpreter at this medical office. And I was working at an Asian restaurant and I was also dancing. So I had 3 different jobs, but I was currently searching for a different position that was closer to College Park. And in the midst of that, I had applied for this car dealership, but the job post showed that they were paying I think $15 an hour at the time, and it was like 45 to 50 hours a week. And I'm like, okay, you know, that's pretty cool. And mind you, this was before I had the twins. I was young, right? So I'm thinking $15 an hour was so much money, like, you know, please. But at the time I didn't realize that the skill set was very valuable, right? So, and I was building my resume. You know, if I can show on my resume that I worked as an interpreter here, that I was a bilingual receptionist there, it really showed that, okay, like she's fluent. Because people always second guess me. So basically, I forwarded my resume to this dealership, and I got a call within the same day. And they were like, can you interview tomorrow? So I called off of one of my jobs. I was supposed to be working that morning, and just to go to this interview. So I drive all the way to Marietta, Georgia, and when I walked in, mind you, I saw this big office to my right, and the door was halfway open so I could see that someone was in there sitting at the desk. And then you have the receptionist desk, which was the position that I was actually applying for. It was bilingual administrative assistant. And in Marietta, Georgia, if you all are out there, you know it's a huge population of Spanish. That explains why they were willing to pay $15 for a speaker. So I go in here, y'all. Receptionist, she was like,
yes, who are you here to see?
And I'm like, I'm here for an interview. And she goes,
we not doing interviews today.
And I said, oh no, I received an email saying to come in today. And she's like,
the only position we're interviewing today for is a Spanish speaking position.
And so I smiled and I said, yes, that's what I'm here for. And then this girl goes to say,
are you Gonzalez?
I was like, yes, I'm Amber Gonzalez. And she's like, oh, ¿tú hablas español? And I'm just like, sí, yo hablo español, yo soy traductora en una oficina médico. And then she's like, oh, I don't really speak mucho, I speak poquito. But just one moment, okay? I'm gonna let I'm not gonna say his name. I remember this whole situation because my feelings was actually hurt by it. So that's why I remembered the names. So she was like, I'm gonna let Mr. blah 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 know you're here. So this guy came out the office and he was in dirty pants, a dirty shirt. He came out and he looked at me up and down and he shook my hand and said, hello, how are you today? And I'm like, I'm good. And he said, I'll be with you in one moment. Went back in his office, closed the door. The girl phone ringed at the desk and she looked at me and said, Miss Gonzalez, I'm so sorry, but we're not conducting any interviews for today. Okay, so when can I come back in for an interview?
We'll let you know.
Dang, like I'm laughing about it now. Like people are usually shocked about what I look like, but not that blunt about it. Like that hurt my feelings. I was like, dang, like dude looked at me and said,
No.
And you know what's so hurtful about the situation is he was a black. I couldn't believe that he would look at me, at another fellow morena, and he would just assume that I was lying and I couldn't speak Spanish. Like how dare you? Like that's so ignorant. First of all, I had several interviews that I was doing that week anyway. But yeah, that hurt my feelings because it's like, yeah, people always judge me off of how I look in my field of work. Like most jobs I've ever taken on in my life has always been a bilingual position. Like that was the job title. I don't know, but that was kind of, I was feeling salty about that. But you know, I'm used to people being so shocked when they hear me speak different languages, and that's okay. I think my biggest issue is when people try to be negative or sarcastic and like they'll try me. You know, even my own people sometimes, they'll be like, so you speak Portuguese? Say something in Portuguese.
Say something in Portuguese.
And it's like, no, I don't have to say anything in Portuguese. Like, you shouldn't hear trying me. I can tell when people are genuinely fascinated, but I do run across people that are just like, and it's so irritating because it's like, how does somebody look like they speak Spanish in the first place? How does somebody look like they speak English? I'm not saying that majority of people don't think like that, but just because the majority of the people think like that don't make it right. It's very ignorant.
You don't look like you speak English. You don't look like you speak Spanish.
Just say what you really want to say. Like, you don't look like you could speak different languages.
You don't look like you're smart enough.
You're smart enough.
It actually is kind of disturbing that people can look at me and say, like, I don't look like I speak several languages. Like, that hurts. Like, that really hurts me. You know, like, that bothers me. For, like, that job to just totally cancel my interview because I didn't look like I speak Spanish was ridiculous, you know? I will say this, though. Most jobs do test my Spanish speaking skills. You know, especially after they see me. They're like, oh, Maria, ven acá. Maria, come here. Did they do that to the last girl that walked in that probably had the J-Lo look and said she spoke Spanish? Probably not. They didn't test her Spanish because they probably assumed, oh yeah, she looked like she speaks Spanish. It's just ignorant. I'm used to jobs doing that. Like, come here, Pablo, we need you to talk to her. Come here, this. I mean, these be rinky-dink people. They'll go get the dang on janitor to come and talk to me, okay? Hey, Pablo, come talk to her real quick. We need to see if she speaks Spanish. Because people just don't believe me. And it's really, really crazy. Like, de verdad, yo creo que es muy ridículo que la gente piensen así, pero es así. ¿Qué puedo hacer? Nah, I can't do nothing. So, but that's it, you all. If you all have ever experienced this, please leave your comments below. I want to read them. I'm talking to you all that are bilingual and that have applied for bilingual speaking positions. Have you ever been discriminated against because you don't look like you speak this language? Leave your comments below. I want to read all about them. And thank you all so much for watching this video. Muchísimas gracias por ver este video. Hasta la próxima. Adiós.